Hello everyone, it's Yvonne here from the Aussie Goddess, here to do your bonus read for, where are we, Monday the 26th of November. I was just doing the dates up for the next lot of readings because, as you know, I have them all on the board in front of me. Look like that. So that I don't forget dates. And I realised that Saturday is actually the 1st of December for all you people who haven't done your Christmas shopping yet, moi. So I'll be mad dash in the next, I've got so much on next weekend and I'm like, oh, I'm never going to get Christmas shopping done next weekend. So, oh well, I'll get there. Everybody might get gift vouchers this year. Been a long time since I did that, really. But anyway, thank you very much for subscribing to my channel. I continue to grow and it's a beautiful thing. If you haven't subscribed yet, please, we'd love to have you on board. Just press that little bird button underneath. And if you haven't, or if the readings don't resonate, that's cool too. So for you waiting for your weekly readings, they will be up today at some stage or another, albeit slowly. I will get there a bit tired after the weekend. I think we did all up about 10 hours of driving over the 2 days and 2 days of readings. So we were pretty jaded. I didn't get home till about 9:30 last night. So I'm so glad I took today off work. So here we go, guys. Bonus read for Monday the 26th of November. Okay, so we have the Two of Rods here. So the Two of Rods talks about having the choice of two pathways. It talks about making a decision on which way to go. See, the thing is, this guy's got everything he needs. He's even got the world in his hands, but he's still got to make the choice of which way to go. So it looks like some of you, you know, in the next few days are going to have a choice, a very important choice of which direction to go in. And this man, he's standing pondering at that. You know, what do I do? You know, I've got everything to win here. I've got the world in my hands. Things are fantastic. I'm just embarking out. Don't forget, he's only the Two of Wands, which is the second one in the suit. So he's right at the beginning of the next journey. So he's ready to take the next step here. Decisions to make, choices to make. Okay, so first off, we have the Eight of Cups. Now, it's quite interesting because you see him walking forward and trying to make a choice, and it's obviously because he's walked away from something. So you may have walked away from something in the last little bit, and now you've got to make a choice in which direction to go. So for some of you, it could have been walking away from a job, a relationship, a family, who knows, but whatever it is, you're now making a choice on what direction to go in. So if you're walking away from a job, it might be, you know, do I go down this career pathway or this career pathway? If it's a relationship, it could be anything from where do I live, where do I move, where do I go? But you're definitely looking for something that you're missing in your life. And the Eight of Cups talks about, you know, missing that emotional fulfillment. So that's what you're off to look for. Okay, and then we have the Hermit. Now, the Hermit made an appearance in the What's Cracking reading too. So the Hermit talks about taking time out to look inside yourself, to shine light on those things of yourself that maybe you don't want to look at, or you haven't had a chance to look at, or you didn't realise existed. So the Hermit talks about taking time out to do that. He's a good card. It's like, you know, packing up everything and just sort of taking yourself away from the world for a little bit to really understand those things inside yourself that you perhaps didn't look at before. Sometimes something can happen, like here. You know, you've walked away from something, you've got a direction to go in now, and sometimes you're just going to take the time out to really digest what does that mean for you before you make that decision. You know, going over what's happened previously. This guy here is shining the light on these 8 cups. So it may be that he's going back to have a look at his life to see what he truly is missing in his life so that he can move forward in the Two of Wands. Okay, and then we have the Queen of Cups. Now, the Queen of Cups is the card of the water signs. So we're looking at Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer here. Now, the thing is with the Queen of Cups is she also represents that part of us that is quite intuitive, quite nurturing, quite motherly. She is very calm. She's still a little emotional. She hasn't quite tempered her emotions like the King has, but she's certainly got pretty good control of them. So maybe this is the point in your life where you've got everything in order, but you still are going out to seek something else that is missing from your life. Okay, and then we have the Two of Pentacles. Lots of decisions here. So the Two of Pentacles is a little bit different in the whole decision-making thing. To me, this is always that heart over head decision, you know, where you have two very equal opportunities, two very equal things in front of you, and you're trying to balance out which one's the better one to go with. So, I mean, we see the guy here with his Two Pentacles. They look exactly the same, but they're obviously very different because he's having a really ridiculous time trying to understand them. In this Two of Pentacles, you see the seas behind him are really rough, which means that, you know, he's trying to ignore those emotions and trying to make a very serious head over heart decision. You can see he's sort of got his eyes closed and he's trying to think about what he needs to do. And both of them at the moment are quite equal, so he hasn't really made a firm decision yet. Okay, and then we have the Devil here. So the Devil can represent the Capricorn, but it also talks of ego, codependency, addiction, lust, all those really extreme things. This can talk about being tied to someone and unable to let go. It's just this kind of obsession and need and drive, you know, those really primal things about ourselves. And for some unknown reason, this is playing a part here. I'll do a bit of a recap in a moment. Okay, and then we have the Eight of Pentacles. You've put a lot of work into something here. You've put a lot of work into something here. I think you feel very satisfied by what you've done. You feel very satisfied. You're really happy with where you are. I feel like this Devil's representing something that you've actually, you know, been able to take some sort of power over. It's like you've worked out. Now, if it's ego we're talking about with the Devil, that would make sense here. Because if you've been working on yourself and been understanding the role that ego plays in your life, and you've been able to sort of conquer the ego here, and being you've been working extremely hard on this, it would make sense that you don't know how to move forward now. It's like you've been doing this work for so long, and now you're feeling fantastic. You've got everything under control. You're thinking, you know, you've just done whatever you need to do, and you now understand the role that this Devil has played in your life, this dark place. So you've obviously, you know, been a hermit and gone in and had a look at it. So it's like you're understanding now this role of the ego in your life because you need something more. So this guy is, you know, it's the card of apathy and boredom. But in this card, we see someone not wanting this cup. He's got 3 already. He doesn't need another one that looks like the other 3. He's bored. They all look the same. He wants something different. Now, this to me looks like this is why you'll want to move forward here. So it's like to me you've done a lot of work on yourself. You've done a lot of work in your life to bring yourself around to where you are. Okay, for example here, you could have studied. You could have done all the studying required, and now you've got to choose which path you walk down. But see, really and truly in this card with the Hermit, it's like, well, I have to go inside and have a really, really good look at myself because I've been able to, you know, calm my demons, decide which way to go, but I'm not really sure what I want to do. And this is the sort of weighing up of the options here. You're bored. You want something more in your life. It's like you've worked, you've got yourself to this point, you've done all this good work on yourself, and now you're bored with what you've got. You want something else. Something's missing here. Okay, and then we've got the Queen of Swords. Now, the Queen of Swords talks of air signs. So we're talking Libra, Gemini, Aquarius here. But this Queen, she's learned to temper that. She's learned to temper all the stuff that we've been talking about. She's standing in her truth. Now, somebody said the other day about, you know, I always speak the truth. Speaking this truth and standing in your truth are completely different things. So we can all be honest. We're all honest. That's it. You know, some people aren't, fair enough, but a lot of us are brutally honest. But it's not about just being honest. This is about living what you're talking about. So walking the talk, not talking the talk. You know, we can all stand there and sort of say, you know, we're really good at this, but are we? Do we really stand in that place when we're saying that? So when the universe is talking about you standing in your truth, what the universe is talking about is that you don't wear a mask any longer. You don't live in your ego. You truly come from where you are meant to come from. So it's casting off your mask and casting off those things that have tied you back, the devil energy, the codependent energy, being able to cast all those off and move forward as the person you were truly meant to be. If you really feel that you're in that place and you've done the work, you will know. You will truly know. Now, I know some of the other thoughts around that, living in the fifth dimension rather than the third dimension, is the current sort of talk around that. Abraham Hicks, they come from the vortex. So they talk about living in the vortex rather than living in your ego self. For me, Spirit talked to me always about living in my truth. And I kept thinking, what do you mean living in my truth? I always tell the truth. But I never understood what that truly meant. In fact, the more I peel back the layers of who I am, the more I understand who I'm supposed to be, because I lost that person as a child. So it's trying to understand who you really were born to be and being able to put aside all the things you were taught you had to be. So you went to school, you were with your friends, you were with your family, everybody told you who you were. But you see, that wasn't who you really were. You listened to all those people, you didn't listen to yourself. So for a lot of us now, this is the time in the world where the universe is moving us all forward to be able to live in this truth. So we're all casting aside the ego. We're all trying to move to this. And for those of you who are on the journey, you will totally understand what I'm talking about. For some others, it might sound like double dutch, but that is the way the universe is moving. We're all moving to be the most beautiful, perfect versions of ourselves that we can. Okay, and then we have the Two of Cups, because that's the ultimate thing, isn't it? People actually coming into union to be with the other person who truly knows who they're meant to be. So what you have is you have what we call not two imperfect beings, because you'll never be perfect, but you will be striving to be the best possible version of yourself. And this is about two perfectly imperfect people coming together, because the idea of you being with that perfectly imperfect person is that you can do amazing things together. So that means that with all the energies of these beings being in one place, we have much more ability to do the things in the world that we were meant to do when we were here. Now, I know that's really deep, but that is why you're being driven. You know, this is always all about love, isn't it? I mean, we grow up thinking it's about getting married, having children, procreating, all of those things. The universe has a far bigger plan for you. So it's moving towards your truth and coming into union. Look at this, the Empress at the top. Amazing. So what this is all about here, this is about being able to cast aside finally that which you've been carrying around that doesn't belong to you. Other people's thoughts, feelings, ideas, the worldly ideas, all the things that don't belong to you as a person. Casting them all aside, coming into some sort of understanding and alignment with what you're supposed to be doing and moving forward on your path. The universe is bringing you into your truth to bring you to the person that you're meant to be with. That's generally what we're talking about here. For other people, we're talking about moving towards that which you are destined to do, moving towards your life path, being in this, Empress energy, really understanding who you are and the direction you're going in. This is about bringing you to this pinnacle here. So for a lot of you on the journey, you'll go, wow, that's fantastic. We're heading in the right direction and we're doing this. For some of you just starting out on your enlightenment or your awakening, I tell you, you're on the way to something amazing and beautiful. So have a wonderful day, everybody. Fantastic reading. And I'll see you later when I'm doing the weeklies. See ya.